thank you for joining us today, and we hope you have enjoyed the event so far. So tell us a bit about your session today on stage.
Our session today on stage actually started with our own team. So what are we doing currently? Where do we want to grow? What does it look like? Which was mostly focused on, first of all, Accenture. I mean, it's a company that's not known to a lot of people that are not in IT, for example. But it has 700,000 people and a lot of automation capabilities. So from there, we deep dive more into the team that we have. I mean, it's a Benelux event, so we had to show it, right? And we actually have our team in the south of the Netherlands, in the Brightlands campus in Heerlen, which is now, let's say, approximately 60 people, mainly pioneers focused on automation and all the technologies that we have to bring to the market and our clients. That's a bit how we started. Next to all the services that we give, I mean, the whole, let's say, implementation life cycle from discovery to run and maintain and everything in between. And then it was mostly about use cases and how we look forward. But maybe Bas could explain you that part a bit better.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also for us it was interesting to indeed what is the capability we have, but also to share how do we see the future leveraging UiPath and where do you want to go. So that was the last part of the presentation. So how do we see the future? I think especially for us as Accenture, and also our intrinsic motivation is also to do a lot for sustainability. It's also how can we, that was also the title of our presentation, how can we leverage technology for a sustainable future, not only for people. I think a hot topic of the day is also getting the robot out of the human, but also for climate. So how can we use data and technology to improve and help the battle against climate change. That was also our forward-looking part, especially focus on that, because that's really something we believe in and we want to support this battle.
Yeah. And what are your kind of near future goals?
Well, near future goals, I think it's twofold. I think we have our business part. We want to help our clients in the best way and help them to become more efficient. And then we have our own people. So focus on them, make sure everybody's happy, has a pleasant work environment. I think that's very important. And then thirdly, actually, so also, and then what I just said, the sustainability part. I think that's something we want to position beyond only, of course, making process more efficient and automate them and having more people. But also this sustainability part is for us just super important. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are some of the challenges that you might have faced so far?
The challenges that we face, and also getting back to what Bas mentioned, is growing the team, right? I mean, it's quite a, let's say, rapid-paced environment, all the technologies that come to the market. And a couple of years ago, we actually started with RPA. I mean, it's mentioned a lot. RPA, it's what we started with about 6 years ago. But catching up and making sure that we can give end-to-end solutions to our clients, that's what's quite challenging. So we started adding multiple pillars in our team about 2-3 years ago. One of them is process mining, one of them is data science. We can actually do things in multiple ways instead of just solely RPA. So I think we managed quite well to establish this kind of foundation. We believe that we know that what we are talking about. We believe we have the experience in-house. But now it's about growing. And I mean, we all know what the market is currently doing. It's hard to find people. So we have that same challenge, right? So I think that's the biggest thing at the moment. But if we find the people, then we are able to scale quite quickly and bring even more to our clients.
Yeah. So you mentioned people quite a lot. What are sort of the key things that you think are key to raising awareness behind hyperautomation, the platform, and RPA as a concept?
Yep.
Well, I think awareness is key in at our clients, but also obviously the people that work for Accenture and our team, they know it obviously very well. But I think also mentioned in some sessions, I think the awareness is key for people to also understand. I think some can perceive it as a threat. So will I lose my job? But I think it's also helping that story and build that story, how it can actually help and make stuff better, make work better, make your working life better. So I think that's really important for us always to help also our clients create the awareness that what is the attention, how can we help, how can technology support you. And I always think that the people should be central. So our people, but also the clients' people, that they should be point number one, target number one, and technology is just a supporting tool to achieve that, but it's not the main goal to implement that. I think there should be other goals that we should strive for.
Yeah.
We just do it by implementing technology, and UiPath has a great platform to do so. Yeah.
And as a partner of UiPath, what's your role between the partner and the client?
Yeah, so actually we have a really good relationship with UiPath. We meet regularly, we have constant updates, at least weekly, on what's happening in the market, but also what's happening with the tools of UiPath. As they keep adding, you keep adding functionalities, right? So it's important for us to stay up to date. It's important for us to train our people, and that's also what we showed earlier today, all the accreditations we have in the team to just make sure we stay up to date and have this collaborative story of UiPath being there as the vendor, but Accenture being there as the partner, and move like this towards a client. So they see, okay, everyone is engaged, they know what they are talking about, and like this we can tailor an end-to-end solution for the client. And it's about bringing that awareness, as we said, of the technologies itself, but also how can our clients use this to their benefit. Because it's cool to bring an RPA story and a use case, for example, but it's always hard to apply if you don't have the correct metrics or you don't have the correct people within the organization that want to carry it.
I also think it's like we should help each other, right? So UiPath should help us to make sure, okay, that we know the latest and greatest, and we get accredited. So I think the USN is a great example how we accredited as Accenture, as a USN partner, and also bring that to clients and say, hey, we are this certified UiPath partner. And that also brings UiPath to the table. Because often you get the question, okay, what should we do with automation? What kind of tools? And then we can help and open a door. And the next time UiPath opens the door for us, and I think that's it's about helping each other as well. Yeah.
True partnership.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what would you say are some of the biggest achievements that you've achieved so far?
Well, that can be in several folds, right? So, I mean, with the team, it's definitely the skill that we currently have and how we have been able to grow with these new technologies coming up. I mean, UiPath is one of the vendors and one of the, let's say, biggest ones, but there's more, so we have to stay up to date constantly. Also to be able to promote UiPath, for example, because you should know the differences and what's a pro, what's a con, how do you use it. So to be constantly able to grow the team with the knowledge that we need, I think that's a great achievement. And then again, as mentioned, it all started in RPA, but we've been able to expand towards process mining, data analytics. How do we do the run support? Because again, it's good that we can build a robot, for example, but in the end the question comes like, okay, who can maintain it? Who can actually make sure it reaps the benefits that we want? And I think that's really cool that we achieved that.
Yeah.
And I think today is also a nice achievement, right? So I think being here again and with all the people and have a fun event also with the team over there, I think that's super cool that we could be on the stage, have the honor to represent Accenture and have a nice use case to share. I think that's also a nice achievement after I think quite some tough years. So that's I would also name that as an achievement actually. Yeah.
Well, what's the one top highlight of the event today for you guys?
For me, it was definitely. I mean, first of all, our own presence. I think we prepared quite well for several weeks now to be able to stand here and to give best to the people at the event. First of all, the booth, but also the presentation that we gave. And I mean, this would also be a highlight. But also definitely all the speakers that we had in the theater, all the client stories that you hear. I think it's a good thing that a lot of stories were on high level quite common and the same. Which shows that we all work on the same risks and the same things we have to achieve and make better. So I think those two highlights would be best for now.
No, I would agree with that. To be honest, for me it's hard to name only one. So for me, I would say like just the day is the highlight, and I cannot name specifically one. I think the speakers are interesting. There were some very enthusiastic speakers, some more very content-driven speakers. I mean, there were like a lot of good stuff that was happening today. So yeah, so safe answer. I would agree what Niels said.
Great. I'm out of questions, but thank you for your time, and we look forward to welcoming you to our next events.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks.